really good information to share with you today so that we can be ready to launch on Monday. As you all, I think, know, we've sent out the user guide. And Virginia, did you want to comment a little bit on that?
Sure. Are you getting an echo, or can we mute phones? Or
Yeah, I'm gonna mute everybody. You're gonna have to start your video. I mean your audio.
Okay, and then you'll admit people because I'm looking.
Yes, I'm watching. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, hi everybody. I'm Virginia Johnson. Yeah, we've spent a long time trying to make the user guide easy to use. It's step by step. It looks really long, but if you just read it from beginning to end, I think it'll only take about 20 minutes, but it'll give you a detailed roadmap to what you're doing from beginning to end. John's going to give you the overview of what the CTSs do, but the user guide gives it to you from every perspective and gives you the steps in chronological order, and hopefully breaks down the steps and gives you the links that you need, and gives you a lot of frequently asked questions. It gives you resources, but it also is a step-by-step of the app that you'll be using, and the discussions that you'll have with the PUI, which you remember is a person under investigation, as well as the contacts. This was literally developed from scratch as we went, and the app was being developed at the same time. So we blended those together, where the directions and the step-by-step guide to the app is literally evolving as the app evolves, and that's going to require everybody's input and everybody's suggestions. And when you are using it and there's something that doesn't make sense or something that you're struggling with, please reach out so that we can fix it or try to make it better. Hopefully we can. We can't always, but if we can, we will. Remember that your question is not unique to you. If you have it, probably somebody else has it. So Telegram is a good place to do that, because people see the question that they may have thought, oh, I had that, but they just kept going. And so they get the answer. So we just want to share as we learn, because we're all learning together, and we're all watching this just be created from literally nothing 6 weeks ago. John's going to present the overview of the app. And remember that we're calling it an app, but it actually is a web page. Once Apple and Android approve it, it will become an actual app. But right now we have a volunteer web page, and then we also have an app, both of which are accessible through a computer or phone. The app, this week we're going to ask everybody to test it again using the user guide so that we can see if the step-by-steps make sense. So I would suggest that you put the user guide on your computer, you have the app on your phone, and be able to work with them together. And then tell us what works and doesn't work. So the volunteer webpage is literally where you, as the volunteers, sign in, which you've all done. We went through the emails yesterday about how to upload everything, and I think we have that down now. And then the app is also a web page, but it's accessible through your phone. So any questions on that? Okay, so we're here. If you have any struggles, please know that this needs to get tested by everybody, and I think it's going to be a little different next week when we're actually doing it with real PUIs. So the hold on one second. I'm sorry.
I'll watch the people come in. Don't worry. I got it.
No, my pest control building guy. Sorry, and I didn't answer the door. So please, you guys, and we've said this throughout the whole process, and for those of you who are new, you guys are the guinea pigs with this, and we are looking to you and hoping that you will provide to us the support that we need to make this as good as it possibly can. So thank you for struggling with us. Thank you for trying it all out. The Camilo and Alejandro worked so hard to get these up and running. So let's take advantage of using them and giving them our best feedback. Okay? Thanks,
Great.
everybody.
Thank you, Virginia. And I just want to remind everybody that, we just started this like 6 weeks, maybe 7 weeks ago. So we're not even 2 months into building this app, pulling together a very comprehensive guide that, while it looks overwhelming, as Virginia said, it's step by step, and you just need to go to review it all, but then you just need to go go to the place where you need to be using it, and it will walk you through the app and the conversation that you need to be having with whichever person. So it's a user guide, and will really help in this. And what I think we've been saying from the beginning, and you've been very helpful, especially those who've been with us from the beginning, testing out every step of the way. And before we could launch this, we needed to have a robust app or web-based application and a comprehensive support system. Well, we feel like we have that now, and that's what we want to share with you. And some of the system I haven't delineated in the presentation, because there are different aspects that have popped up out of need. So our tech support people, our social media people, the Spanish-speaking group. These are all different interest groups that have stepped up that are making this really possible. So if there's an interest group that you feel like you want to be a part of or grow, that is going to help us be stronger as well. So without further ado, let me try to bring this up. I'm going to share my screen here. All right. So, well, this is familiar to everybody. It is the landing page for our app that Camilo has worked, and his team have worked very hard in preparing. And this whole thing got started from with oops, sorry, I didn't quite get up there. The vision of our visionary leader, Dr. Michel. And he clearly identified that how people react to an emergency, and especially a public health emergency, defines who we are as a people. And the team Larkin, which is made up of 10 or 12 or 13 different teams, are all have different initiatives to fight against this pandemic. And it's made up all of volunteers who want to be defined as somebody who wants to protect our loved ones and our community. So welcome to Team Larkin. Welcome to the Larkin family from Dr. Michel. And thank you, Dr. Michel, for not just sitting on this vision, but for casting it out there, inviting anybody to come and join. So we know that the vision is to help fight against this awful disease, COVID-19. And the information is changing constantly on this disease. What we do know is that it's highly contagious and that there's no cure or vaccine. And so in order to be able to deal with this highly infectious disease is to figure out how to mitigate the spread. And what are how have they outlined some of the ways of mitigating the spread that we can participate in? One is, of course, social distancing and self-care that we should all be practicing. But two aspects that are going to be that you need to become very familiar with as you talk with the person under investigation or those who had close contact with somebody exposed to COVID-19 is self-quarantine and self-isolation. So self-quarantine is when somebody who's been exposed to the virus needs to quarantine themselves by staying at home, wearing a mask if they do need to be around people, and watch for symptoms. Whereas self-isolation, it's to separate sick people from others. So that means if somebody has tested positive, they need to be self-isolated. And these are two concepts that you'll be talking with people throughout your interviews. So how are we doing this with contact tracing? So contact tracing is a process of identifying, assessing, and advising people as to what to do if they've either been exposed or actually have the disease. The two principal types of people that you'll be talking with are PUIs, or persons under investigation. And those in our program here, those are the people who have tested positive with COVID-19. The other type of person you'll be talking with are close contacts. And those are people who've had close contact with a PUI. So anybody who's been within 6 feet of a PUI for more than 10 minutes. And these are two distinctions that you'll need to keep clear in your mind for when you're talking to these different demographics. And then the contact tracer, the contact tracer, it is a complex process. It's a complex job because you are at one time investigator, detective, social worker, therapist, and you'll be wearing these different hats throughout the process. So the objectives for contact tracing is to identify those who either who have come in contact with a COVID-19 positive person, identify the extent of how exposed they've been, establish the risk of them getting the virus themselves, and provide guidance for self-care. So those are basically what you'll be doing throughout your conversations with the interviewees. In order to do this, we've set up a team, and it keeps growing. First of all, it's hundreds of volunteers. All of us are doing this as volunteers. And this is what the team looks like. We have a support team. So we have a person who we call our COVID positive distributor volunteer. That person will distribute the names of the PUIs to the region heads so that then the region heads can pass them on to the CTSs. And then we have our IT team, the app builder, and all the support that goes with that. But again, as I mentioned earlier, this is just the named support team for this process, but we've had these other groups that keep popping up on Telegram, which is really helpful. The Spanish-speaking group, the tech group, the social media. So there's various groups that are helping support each other and support the movement. And then we have our frontline team. That is made up of our supervisors, region heads, and contact tracing specialists. Most people will be a contact tracing specialist, and your principal job is to interview the people who are participating in the COVID Fighter app, meaning the PUIs and the close contacts. But you're not alone in this. We have region heads. As you know, we have divided the country up into the different states into different regions. And the region head will be there to support you as a CTS. And then we have supervisors who will be overseeing the region heads. And principally, they'll also be taking any cases that need to be overseen by them. So example, if you happen to talk with somebody who was on an airplane or was in a church service now that they're opening back up, or in any, like a mall or someplace where there've been a lot of people, you will need to alert the supervisor, who will then decide if they should take that to the Department of Public Health. So this is designed to be able to support you doing the work so that you don't feel like you're alone in this. And this is how our system works. You'll see that it starts with everything at this point is starting at the Larkin Community Hospital. They will be sending letters out to the people under investigation. And at the same time, the Larkin Hospital is giving to our COVID positive distributor volunteer these names. And then the COVID distributor volunteer gives the name of the PUI to the region head. And the region heads will then look through their list and find out who's available for a new PUI, and they distribute the PUI to the CTSs. The CTSs will get notified by an email and an alert of the new case. They will then need to accept it and review the case, and then they begin interviewing. They first interview the person under investigation, and from there, they get the contacts of people who were in close contact with them, and then the CTS interviews them. After they finish interviewing these two groups, they'll just review the case, and we'll show you how that's done on the app. And then they will, sorry, I have to move the camera. They will indicate that they're ready for a new PUI, and it's all on the app, and those are things we're going to show you. At this point, are there any questions at this point? Okay. So what are the goals of the app? This is, I think, an important thing to remember, because as we're doing the research for the manual and the app, there's many of the people who are doing contact tracing are working at it from different angles. Some are working from a community health perspective, meaning that they've got a lot of resources that they can be directing people to. And so we want to be sure that we're clear about what our app does, so we aren't over-promising. The first thing is it's designed to assist the recovery of a person with COVID-19 by tracking their symptoms. This is really an important part, that they can indicate twice a day, every 12 hours, their symptom. This is a recommendation by CDC that they keep track of their symptoms so that they can know when the disease has run its course. The second goal is to mitigate the spread through contact tracing, which is primarily what you all will be involved with. And then thirdly, when the disease has run its course, the people who have been positive, they may be eligible to donate their plasma. And this is one thing we want to be sure that they're aware of, so that they can possibly help somebody else who's having a tougher time with the recovery of the disease. So those are the three goals. And so as you're telling friends about it, or trying to get people to get involved with us, these are the goals that you can tell them is what it is that we do. So again, we're going to go now look into the app. This is what everybody will see when they sign up, both the CTS as well as the patient or the PUI. When you as a CTS sign in, this is what you will see. You go to your CTS dashboard, and this has the information on to tell you what your caseload looks like. These are the PUIs that I am currently, who are currently under investigation. And this tells me a few things. One, this person here, I've not reviewed her information. They have not provided a COVID-19 proof. Oh, but there's also a time alert, meaning that they have not indicated their symptoms. So this is at a first glance, what is going on with each of these PUIs.
Hey, John, are the colors important?
The colors, they're mostly just for distinction, that you can see that there's three different things here. If something is not going on, they disappear. Okay, this view here, over here, view PUI. If you click on this, it will take you to this person's profile page, and we'll be looking at that. Over here, you have view reports. So you can click on that and you'll see all of the reports that PUI has submitted. This is a review also of what's going on. If you've had a shortness of breath alert, this will come up here. If you have any time alerts, you get them here. And if you have reviews, this is what you'll have here. Apparently I have a lot of reviews I haven't done. There's 11 here. So this gives you a snapshot of what is going on. CT people, when you interview your PUIs and you enter people into their contacts, and they will all be connected here, so that you can go directly to this button and bring up all the people that you still need to be interviewing who are contacts. This does the same for places, but this is just for information. You do not need to be contacting the places. You're just going to be contacting the contacts. This button, I think I'm a glutton for punishment. I still have 11 under review. This is telling me that I am ready for another PUI. This is a drop down. If I'm not ready, I've got enough work, it would say not ready and it'll be red. There's a couple more things important on here. This is what you'll be using if you're going to add a new PUI. This will be principally used at the beginning when you first call somebody and they haven't signed up. And we'll be showing you this at the end of the presentation. So that's a snapshot of your dashboard when you go to it. Any questions about this at this point? This, if I had pushed the 4 bars up that were up here at the top, this is called a burger bar. So on your burger bar, the top 3 tabs are tabs that can be accessed without signing in. In the contact, you may want to use this because within the contact, you will be able to get yourself to tech support if you have questions. This is just about Larkin and about iBoom, who designed the app, and then the home button. This is your profile. So when you sign in, this is the information that you signed in with. This will take you to the dashboard that we just reviewed. This we've made available for if you need any of the resources, if you want to brush up on some of the training aspects, if you want to review some of the materials we put in there to help become a better CTS. They're all going to be listed here. These are also, along with the frequently asked questions and the user guide, they are also found in the user guide, which you can find on the web. It would be difficult to bring the user guide up while you're talking with a PUI because it takes up the whole page. So just be aware of that. This won't be on your burger bar. This is for administrators and then a sign out. Any questions on the CTS dashboard and burger bar?
Do we have like a certain time that we have to do the task?
Do you have certain time you have to do the training? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Do we have like a deadline? Time of day?
For doing the interviews?
Assessing the dashboard.
No, you can go, and I think that throughout the next couple of days, Camilo is going to be changing people, let them play with the dashboard. So no, you can just go in and review it all you want.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Dr. John, just a suggestion. Can we make these colors a little more distinct and not just shades of red and orange?
Okay, that's a Camilo question.
Hi, guys.
I mean, it's a suggestion. I mean, I'm sure he can do it. It's just a suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, microphone check. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, Camilo, we can.
Okay. So yeah, these are red when they're high priority, orange when they're low priority. So the orange one, for example, is that somebody has not submitted their COVID, so it's like low priority alert. So it shows up as orange. We can obviously play with the color scheme, but that's basically what I was aiming for. That if you see something red, it's because it's high importance. Somebody uploaded something and you need to take action.
Super.
Okay, that makes sense. No need. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Great.
It becomes green, right? It becomes green when you have already checked per PUI.
So it disappears.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to start getting ready for an interview. There's several things that are involved in an interview. It's not just asking questions and getting answers. So over here, we have the various communication skills that you will need to be using. You'll be using these at different times, sometimes simultaneously. So I think that on one hand, we probably all practice these, but maybe not in these situations. So it may be, it would be helpful to think about these before you do an interview. We do have some resources on our resource page. There are some videos on there that actually show some simulated interviews. There's also some very good slideshows about incorporating some of these. But you know what I would like to say is that I think that there's a lot of resources within our volunteers. And if something within this area is something that you have had experience with, maybe empathy, using empathy when talking with somebody who's in a stressful situation or in feeling in a crisis, maybe you maybe you don't understand how to use open-ended questions. I think that, toss that out to the group, get it onto Telegram. If you can put together a small presentation or some sort of an orientation into how to incorporate these using our materials, I'm sure there are people that want to hear that. They want to participate. They want to get these skills. Or if you have a need and you say, I don't know how I'm going to use open-ended questions, put that out there on the Telegram and see if there's some other people that, I want to learn about that as well. I sort of think of this as like Wikipedia. We have the answers within our groups. We have the questions. We have the resources. That's been proven by the tech people who've stepped up, the social media people, the people who've contributed to our manual, and everything that's come together has come together from volunteers who are stepping up. So I ask you to please step up if you either have something to share or you have a need that you want some assistance with. I can imagine having a coffee talk on empathy, possibly, or a happy hour on multicultural awareness. And you may have 4 people, you may have a dozen people. It could be recorded. We can put it into our resource manual, but anything that can help us become better would be great. Anything that if you want to share the information that you have that can help us, we would greatly appreciate that. It doesn't have to be a centralized information center. You all can help create that. It's the same thing for the potential situations. If we have these and others listed in the manual that you can review. You may have some other resources, some other questions. Again, think Wikipedia. We're growing. We may miss some things. Help us complete our bank of information as you get ready for interviews. But the main thing to remember when you get ready for an interview, you're going to be incorporating some of these communication skills. You may run into a situation that is not quote unquote textbook. Any thoughts or questions about that?
I'm going to add to it, John. Sorry, it's Virginia. So what we tried to do with the potential situations is come up with some examples, and obviously we can't think of everything. So once again, if you do, as John said, if you do come up with something that you feel like it should be communicated to everyone, you can either put it in Telegram, you can send me an email, you can put it in Telegram, and we'll add it to the potential situations for future people, that for future CTSs. Part of what we're doing as a group is also training for the future of us who are coming into this. And then the communication skills is really a people-to-people thing. It's a person-to-person thing. You're going to want to treat the people you're talking to on the phone as if you want to be treated. And so that means conversing with them, hoping that they open up. And that's what is meant by using open-ended questions. You don't want to just ask yes or no questions, because then that just kind of cuts off the conversation. So you want to get them talking. So it's how are you feeling, not are you feeling okay? So but there are other times, and you'll see this in the guide, that tells you that you need to ask specific questions that are yes or no, like, have you been in a place that is crowded or more than 10 people? There are specific questions that do need to be asked that aren't open-ended. So just keep in mind that it's a conversation between two people where you're trying to gather information, you're trying to be empathetic, you're trying to help understand their situation, and you're trying to communicate to them that you understand their situation and that you're helping them give you the information to help control the spread of this disease. That's our goal. And if you keep that in mind, it helps the conversation flow. Under the resources, there are several videos that have examples of these type of interviews that aren't very long, that if you just go through and watch them, it'll dawn on you how to do it. And then really it is just getting in there and doing it. And if you want to practice this week with each other, I know that Camilla is going to be assigning, and if you've been a patient a lot of times, you can ask to be a CTS instead, or however you want to do it. But nothing's going to train you like your first actual interview and the one after that and the one after that. So we want to practice. We want to have you feel comfortable doing it. But the first one's going to be a little nervous. Don't be concerned over that. Just be yourself. And remember to talk to them as if you would like to be spoken to.
Great. Any other thoughts or questions on this? Great. Then you're going to prepare for the interview. This is in the manual, but it's just important to, stop and review your information. Be sure you've got the right information with the person you're getting ready to talk with. And I think that the other thing that's really important for the interview process is be really clear whether you're speaking with a PUI or a close contact, because your conversation is going to be different with these two, and we will be looking at that. So for example, when you're getting ready for a PUI, the purpose of of the phone call is to really start doing the contact tracing. They already know that they've got the COVID virus, and now we have to help them develop confidence in us, that when they share information with us, it's confidential, and we're not going to be talking about them. We're just going to be alerting others to the potential of have been exposed to the disease. We want to find out also about the presence of their symptoms, help them know how to self-care following isolation strategies. Again, this is where the difference between talking with the PUI and talking with a close contact. With the PUI, you're going to be talking about isolation strategies. So how to isolate themselves from others, staying in a room by themselves, using a bathroom that's dedicated to them, if possible. Not being in the rooms with other people. So the isolation strategies are going to be different than the quarantine strategies. So this needs to be really clear as you prepare for your interviews. When you actually go onto the app, this is the app. This is what it looks like on the phone, different than what's on the computer. This is what you'll be walking through with the PUI on signing up. After they get signed in, they will get this red circle that they need to diagnose, and they will go through and list if they have any symptoms, and that will turn to green. And this will turn back to red 12 hours later and they'll get an alert that they need to do a report. So that's the first thing that you'll see with them. And then as you continue with the interview with them, this is the next page. This is the user profile, and you will review all of this information that they have put in. And again, if it's not complete, it will list there, and you can get that completed. If it is complete, you will see it there. So it doesn't turn green, but it will actually have the information there. So you want to be sure that you get their basic contact information. And then we go down to looking at the questionnaire that you will go through with them. And again, when this is, when these are done, they will have the information here, or does it turn, or it turns green? It says complete. And then you can edit it if it was wrong by pushing these buttons. So these are very simple questions. The two that are going to take some time are collecting from them the people that they were in a close physical contact or shared spaces. And that means less than 6 feet for more than 10 minutes, starting 2 days prior to experiencing the symptoms. And the way you do that, and we'll show you in a second, is you push the add here and you get a drop down. It is the same thing with the locations, the places that you'll be identifying. So when you push this add button, you get this drop down. And you just need to put in their first name, last name. If they have an email and they can give it to you, that's great. Most important, of course, would be a phone number and the date of contact. And if there's any other pertinent information here, you know, that you can add that if you wish. There's space here. After you fill this in, you need to push the save button, and we'll see what happens after that. In not the next slide, the following one. This is the same thing that happens when you go to location. You put in the name of the location, address if you have it, and if you have any other information, be great. Most important is the name of location, because we can, if we need to be in touch with that place, typically the name and location, we'll be able to find out how to locate it if we need to. So you don't have to fill these in if they don't have it. Don't make them go look for that information. But if they were at their beauty shop or their barber shop, they might know that phone number very easily. And then you click save here as well. When you save these, it'll take you back to your questionnaire page, and you'll start to see that this is being populated here. And then later, when you've finished all of this, and then you start calling these people, when we'll talk about that in a second, but after you've called them, you'll have a gold star right here to indicate that they've been called. Any questions about this interview process at this point? After you finish the interview, you can let them know about the possibility of donating plasma. This is a drop-down menu that they can indicate yes, or want more information, or no. If they indicate yes or want more information, this will be alerted to the plasma donation volunteer group, so that they have that name, they know the date that it came in, they can check back with them in 14 days after recovery to be able to see if they're willing to, and able to come in to donate plasma. If at any point you sense that they would like some peer support, mostly for emotional support, same thing, yes, want more information, no. If they push yes or want information, this will be shared with our peer support group. So you can ask them if they'd like some support. And throughout if you find that this has been an upbeat conversation, you can ask them if they want to become a contact tracer. If they're really sick, that's probably not a question you need to go with at this point, but it is something that they could possibly do after they get well. And then you would conclude the interview. Just always ask if they have any other questions. You may not be able to answer them. You may be able to direct them someplace, but be sure that you've answered all of their questions. As we mentioned, you can offer peer support and plasma donation and inviting them to become a COVID fighter, but as well, please be sure and give them thanks for sharing their time with you. Any questions about interviewing a PUI or comments?
Can I add something, John, please?
Of course.
This is great. This pulls it all together, even for me. So for the peer support and plasma donations on the app or buttons, and that when they indicate, and he's right, the timing of asking about plasma donation is they will have the opportunity in their app, even when they get through their symptoms, they can push it, but they may have questions about it, and you can tell them that it's a great way to possibly save the lives of 3 people who are in the hospital who are possibly on ventilators who have COVID. And peer support, we have a team who offers peer support, and there is a link in the app that if they would like information about social services or they have emotional support questions, we have a team of people who, that when that link gets hit, it will notify them to to contact the patient or the PUI, sorry. So all of this is interlinked. We have different teams. The plasma donation team is one, the peer support team is another, the contact tracers are another one. So when it's not a button to nowhere, and it's not a button that just goes out back to us, it goes to where it needs to be, and people will be ready to follow up.
Thank you, Virginia. Are there other questions about the interview or anything else that we've covered at this point?
Dr. John, I have 2 questions.
Ask away, please.
So the first set of PUIs that we are going to get, are they going to be from the state of Florida?
All of them will be coming through the Larkin Community Hospital. So,
okay. All right. Okay, and second question, are we going to have any mock interview sessions?
you know what, we don't have any set up, and this is where I want to say that, you know, we are like Wikipedia. If you would like some mock interviews,
Okay.
ask around, put it out on the Telegram. You all can set them up. It doesn't have to be centralized. So yes, please do that. If there's a need out there, and if you have that need, somebody else has that need.
Okay.
And it doesn't have to come from us. You guys can just go at it.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that.
And one more thing about the regions, because John's right, the initial PUIs are going to come from the people who came through the Larkin testing sites. So they will be in region 4, but the distribution will be among all the regions. So everybody within their regions will have an opportunity to participate and be a CTS. How many we'll get originally, I don't know the answer to that yet. We're just going to have to see, but I don't want people who are in regions other than 4 to think that because the PUIs are only in 4 that you're not going to get any assignments, because you will. We will make a concerted effort to make sure that we distribute them proportionately among all of the regions until we get actual PUIs from your regions. We appreciate everybody who volunteered all over the country, and we want to utilize everyone. So we will have a system in place where everybody has an opportunity to be a CTS.
Thank you.
Thank you, Virginia.
Any other questions at this point?
I have a question about the peer support. For how much time after they've used the app, do they have that option to kind of go in there and choose that option to have peer support? Would they be able to do it like a month later kind of thing? Or is this more of when they're experiencing the symptoms and when they're kind of post-infectious?
Yeah, it's during the time that they are active as a PUI on the app, but during any of your conversations or text messages with them, you could give them the direct information so that if they need it later, they could note it down and
could just reach out
and make that contact. Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Hi, I have a question, please.
Sure.
In regards to the interviews, I believe we're going to be conducting these with our phones, correct? Is there any like update to if maybe we'll get a chat feature on the website to be able to communicate with them like that to keep our privacy?
Camilo, can you answer that question?
Yeah, we're almost done with the chat feature. It's going to be primarily for the administrators to talk with everybody.
But so contacting one of the POIs or close contact people, that won't be through a chat through the app. Is that correct?
The agents will have access to chat with their CTS will have access to chat with their PUIs.
Okay, so that's a feature that he's getting onto the app. As you can see, everything it's in motion.
Of course.
Nothing is static.
Of course. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's a custom chat because it has to take into account all the different authentication features.
Mm-hmm.
But it is coming. It is almost done, and it will be available very shortly.
Thank you, Camila.
John, what about the people who are not in the country? Have we finally decided what are they going to use as a means of communication? There were multiple suggestions.
I think there's some conversations going on in Telegram about that, but I haven't been directly involved yet. No.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
So when we call the PUIs, do we call them from personal phones, or is there like a 1-800 number that we can use?
At this point, we're using our own phones, but I see in the Telegram chat that there's some other options using something called text, I think. I don't really know, but that's a very good question. And I think we'll have to get our tech people to collect all that information, and we can get that out so people can, if they choose not to use their own phones, there would be some other options. But
Thank you.
Thanks for that question.
Yeah, so I was using the Dr. Saida, and I started using the Google Play thing, and it looks pretty easy, and I think it will prevent our personal phone number exposing different people. So I think anyone can download that from the Play Store.
Okay, we'll get all that information so that it's together. So thanks for that. That is something, maybe one more thing to add to our resources or even the guide so that people can have that option. So
just to add, there's a way for you to call a number where your number won't be seen. It will just be seen as unknown. It will be registered as unknown. I did post it back again in Telegram. You just add like *671 to the number you want to call, and it will make your number unregistered to the one you're calling.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
but the thing is that if we use this method of dialing 67, so our patient, our POI cannot call back to us. So we want our patients to call back if they have any need. So that's why in this case, the Google Play phone number, it's free also, and you can use it, and you can also give them your number so that they can call you back.
And also, if you put an unknown number, they're less likely to pick it up. Like when I get unknown calls, I usually just let it go to voicemail. So
that's right.
That we have an actual number.
And these are really great questions, and I really look forward to seeing once we get going how those get resolved. So please keep us informed in Telegram.
Sorry, coming.
Okay, great. Okay. So just nearing completion here, but I wanted to talk a little bit about interviewing the contact. And as I mentioned before, it's really important to keep clear whether you're talking to a POI or a contact. So when you're talking with a contact, the purpose of the call is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be what you're doing there is informing a close contact that they've had exposure to COVID-19. And this may be a little bit different. So instead of being primarily a detective and investigator, your role may be primarily therapist and social worker. So you need to sort of change hats a little bit when you start to make this phone call. It's important that you have the mindset of reassuring and clarifying. You certainly are not trying to scare anybody, but just advising them of potential exposure. And always, it's really important because especially for somebody who's not expecting this phone call, that they understand that it's confidential and non-medical. We are trying to, collect information and advise people of their exposure, but we're not here to give them medical advice. And as far as confidential, it goes two ways. We can't give the name of the PUI, as well as we won't give their name to anybody either. So that's really important. And then on
Excuse me, John.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Can everyone please mute their phones? It's not clear.
Yeah, there's some feedback there. Can you mute the phones, please? Thank you. And then advice and instructions. So again, here, keep clear in your mind what quarantine strategies as opposed to the isolation strategies that you would be giving to a PUI. So some of this will take a little bit of study on in the guide. It's all there. This is the beauty about our guide, and the reason it's so long is because we wanted to go through step by step and not make you go from having a script to having instructions to having pointers, but it's all in a very linear, very step by step manner. So it will help you in that. And then, of course, the conclusion, same as the one before. But mostly for this, we'll just be thinking about the difference between contact and PUI as you get ready for the phone calls. And this is the contact page. So when you do call a contact, this is the information. This is what you'll see. It's a lot more simple than the PUI conversation. You really are just finding out if they got tested for COVID, if they're positive or negative, and if they had symptoms or not. If they've had symptoms or they tested positive, you can invite them to become a PUI. And if they're positive, they really should become one. So you could encourage them to actually download the app, and you could start working with them, because we would need to contact their contacts. And again, if that's the case, you go back to that very first, go back to your CTS dashboard, and in the upper right-hand corner over here, there is the multiple people plus, a user plus, and you can add that person right there as a PUI. So welcome to our, that is an overview from signing in to signing out. I hope that was helpful. Are there some questions? We are going to, when I'm finished here, Camilo is going to show you that what it looks like in real time to sign somebody up. But let's just see if there's any questions at this point.
I have just a couple comments. It's Virginia again.
Sure.
Understand, everyone, that when a person comes through one of Larkin's testing sites and they sign the form for them to be tested, we have included in that they've consented to a volunteer calling them. Chances are they probably never read that, but I want you to feel comfortable knowing that it is okay for you to call them. It is not okay to give medical advice. That's not what we're doing. We're literally calling to investigate, to monitor, and to help stop the spread by contacting their contacts. But it is okay for you to talk to them about it. And if they say, I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're calling, and I don't know what this must constitute some violation of my HIPAA, you know that it is that they have signed a waiver when they got tested for the virus. So be aware of that. And then with the contacts, when you're calling them, and John's point about saying, well, wow, maybe they've tested positive, or they getting ready to get tested, and you advise them that they can become a PUI, and the benefit for them to signing up for the app is that then they will have support and monitor and help stop the spread for them individually. So it's a great place for them to know that we're calling them out of the blue. We may be telling them for the first time that they were around someone who is positive, so they may be hearing that for the first time from you.
And then you can encourage them that if they get tested positive or if they begin to show symptoms and they want support, they want to be monitored, they can sign up for the app. And then everybody that you speak to can, if they want to, they can become a CTS. They could also become a peer support. There's no one better than offering peer support than someone who's been COVID positive and gotten through it. Wouldn't it be wonderful to be able to offer to a current COVID positive, a person who's been tested with COVID positive, to be able to speak to someone who's been through it? So all of these considerations are things that I think will become natural as you begin the flow of these conversations, but they're also things to keep in mind in case they don't.
Great. Any other questions, comments? Okay, well then I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and Camilo, are you able to then share your screen and walk us through?
Just enable me to share my screen.
Oh, how do we?
Yeah, thank you.
I can do it, John. Hold on.
Okay.
There isn't an option under your name. And is it because we already have two co-hosts? Because what we have to do is
Let me see if I can unco-host.
can you unco-host me?
Or
And then you can give it to Camilo?
I don't know how to, let's see.
I think Jack has to do that. Dr. Michelle has to do that. Hold on.
You want me to give access to Camilo?
Yeah, to
Yeah.
Camilo, so he can share his screen.
Hold on. Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, one moment. Sharing my screen now. Okay, so here we have the CTS dashboard. Okay, so we're gonna go through the process, a basic overview, and then a mock sign up of a PUI. So just a basic overview, we have the ready button that we were speaking of. Once you're ready to receive a PUI, please ready yourself. Here you can see in that list the users that are new and you have not reviewed. You can go to their user profile page. I clicked on the alert and it took me to the user profile page. On the top of every user profile page, if you are a CTS, you will have the CTS control section. This will give you additional controls to this user's profile. You will go ahead and review this, and it therefore taking it off that list, saying that you have reviewed their intake information. By default, they will have not submitted their COVID-19 proof. Once they do submit it, it will automatically change to in review, and you will get an orange, a red alert telling you to go review this on your dashboard. Once you review it and you approve it, you can go ahead and click submit it, and it will take the alert away. You can assign them to a region. Maybe if you're in a specific region and you want. And here we have the PUI status, which we're going to be making sure that these go to your region and telling them to become deactivated as patients now. For now, let's go ahead and go over these two first ones, which are the most important ones. The first one is PUI interview in process. This first one, when you put this PUI in this status, you're stating that you are now ready to call them and you're going to be getting information from them. So you put them in this field and then you proceed to start calling them and trying to get as much information as you can. once you have filled out most of this information and gotten as much of their people and places that they have been at, for test purposes, let's test one now. Okay. So, and then if it seems appropriate, ask them the additional information. Once you have contacted them and you have done as much possible in this page, put that they are now contact interviews in process. This is going to state that their contacts are now ready to be contacted. So I'm going to leave it where it is right now just to show you. It's on the first one. I'm going to go to my dashboard. Notice that I don't have anybody in this list yet because I haven't signaled yet for his contacts to show up on this list. But now I'm going to go back and I'm going to click contacts, interviews in process. Now, all of those contacts will show up on this list because now I have signaled that I am ready to start contacting the contacts of my PUIs. And this list will show you the aggregate of all your contacts, people and places. Okay? So let's continue moving forward. We're going to be going over a mock simulation of signing up a patient, a new PUI. Larkin has assigned you a list of people that need to be contacted them and try to sign up on the COVID Fighter app or provide other information. If they do not want to participate in the app, we're going through a mock simulation now. So we started going through this list received by Larkin. This person does not want to participate in the app. That's fine. You do not have to create a new user for them. We can create a mock. We can just create contacts for them, people and places on your, for now we're doing it through your own user profile. So this is gonna go to a master list. So when you add to your own profile, people and places, you are signifying that these are people that you've contacted and they did not want to participate in this app. Now, if they do want to participate in this app, you're going to click this button in the top right section, which is the User Plus button. You're going to require them to fill out some basic information, and this will send them a verification email to be able to sign into the app. Once they verify that email, they will get an additional email stating to please reset their default password, which is their ID number. The user will then be able to sign in to the app using his email and his reset password. And you will automatically receive him as a patient if you do it this way. The other alternative, if the user says, oh, I'll sign up on the app myself, that is perfectly valid. Instruct the person that they can do that as well. Just keep in mind that they will go through the region head, the app's region to assign it to the most appropriate CTS at that time, depending on how many users there are and who's ready and not. So bear in mind, if they go in through the app themselves, they sign up on their own, they will go through the app system of being assigned to the most appropriate CTS. If you sign them up through this method, you will automatically receive them as a PUI on your list. So let's go ahead and submit.
Can I just say one thing, Camilo?
Yes.
And that is that this is the importance of this is that on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day you get an assignment, this is the page you're going to be using because most likely they have not gone to sign up on the app. So this is a page you'll be using to sign them in. And this is in the user guide. And I happen to know it's, well, it's, I can't tell you what, it's page 18, but the pages don't show up on in the website. But this is Roman numeral number 7. You will find this information that you can review before you make your phone call so that you can sign these people up. Thanks, Camilla.
One more thing, as I mentioned in the Telegram this morning, you can, when you've got the user guide open on your computer and you're doing this on your phone, you can literally put new user in the search bar and it'll take you directly in the user guide to where the directions are for this. So if everybody would just read through it once so you know what's in there, and then as you need to find something, you can search the document by using the search bar.
That's a very very good tool to have across all browsers. Thank you. Okay, so moving forward, I did make it so if you create an account with an email that has already been registered, the system will let you create this first page. It will submit it, but then a function in the background will delete it. So within a couple of seconds of you creating this account, it would automatically be deleted again. But just bear in mind that if you are trying to register somebody, the system won't let you register somebody if the email has already been registered. Let's go ahead and test this out. Right. I hope this works. Yeah, everything should be fixed. Today. Oh, sorry. Okay, so this user was created. They should have received an email, and they should be assigned to you as a patient. Let's go ahead and if you wanted to add any additional notes, this will be the appropriate section to add it after your interview with the person. And then, sorry, it hasn't shown up here. It should show up here. 1 moment. Okay. So it's still, I'm working on this. I'm sorry, guys. I've been working on it today because of, but basically it's gonna show up here. I'm just gonna confirm 1 moment what's going on from my side.
But with this, that's okay, Camille. He will work it out. He's worked out every change that we've made, so it will work. I think the important thing is to remember to go to that user plus to add your new person. You may have to wait a little bit to get the authentication, but it will be coming through. He'll work through the glitches this week.
Okay, so I kind of made it so I also made it so you couldn't do it with the same phone number. I used my same phone number, and I got an error saying the phone number provided already exists, so it deleted the account. Sorry, guys. Let's go again. I get alerts for fake emails, but I haven't set it up to automatically delete them. because of some EDUs that they're unable to verify this. Oh, no, can't do that. Okay, this person should be assigned to this. All right, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to work it out. I
Okay,
just
well,
visited.
great.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
that's
guys.
really, it's very
I have
helpful.
to make sure it's working.
Okay. Thanks, Camilo. It is helpful because at least you know where you'll need to go to, and he will work that out. Don't worry about it. He's worked out all the other glitches all along the way. So that's workable. Okay. All right.
Yeah, guys, it was because I was fixing it today. I was adding specific emails that we were trying to integrate. I'm sorry. It was working yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm extremely sorry. It should be working by the end of the day.
Great. Can you just send a note out in the Telegram that that feature's been fixed, and everybody here will know what you're talking about.
Perfect. Yes.
Great. Great. Thanks so much, Camilo. Really appreciate it. And all of your hard work. This is really going to be exciting to see this working next week and enabling us to help participate in mitigating the spread of this virus and helping to potentially save lives. Are there any other questions or comments at this time?
It's Virginia again. Camilo, I can hear how exhausted you are, and you have done an amazing job. Guys, again, this is from scratch. There's nothing that he was able to go and copy and paste. There was nothing for him to go copy. He literally had to do this from scratch. And then as we've been testing it, and as all of these, as we're giving him directives that we need to do this, and he goes and tries to find a solution. Camilo, we can't say thank you enough. This is quite a challenge, and you've stepped up every single time, and we all say thank you. So we will struggle with you, but we will be victorious in the end. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, everybody, for all your hard work.
Yeah. So, Dr. Michelle, I don't know if you have anything that you wanted to share or say, or if anybody else have anything.
The only thing I'm going to add, John, is that as you guys try this week, today's Wednesday, and as you get, Camilo, you're going to be assigning again patients and CTSs?
Every 24 hours, I'm going to be rearranging. I'm actually going to be trying to add as many CTSs as possible. And I'm going to try to keep them as CTSs and hit the system with fake users so that way everybody can experience the CTS.
Okay. Excellent. So as you get assigned somebody, if you want to just text them and say, hey, can I give you a call and do an interview? You could just practice it. And then we don't want to overload everybody with meetings, but we want to be around to answer questions. So if we try this for the next, he said for the next 48 hours, it'll take us into Friday. And if we need to have or want to have a meeting over the weekend, we are certainly available and can help answer last minute questions. I don't know what the load is going to be for patients for next week. I'm sure Dr. Michelle can answer that, but I don't think we're going to just have this deluge of hundreds of PUIs are going to come through. But make sure that you've got your certificate of completion in, your confidentiality agreement in, so that your region head knows where you are and that you can click ready for a CTS, because that's where they're going to be looking. If you have not completed those, and you haven't clicked ready, you will not be on the quote unquote ready list to take a CTS. I mean, to take a PUI. So those are the requirements to be available for you. And hopefully you've also indicated how many hours and how much time you can put into this each week. And a system is being implemented whereby the region heads will keep that in mind and respect your time, hopefully, which is why the ready, not ready button is on there. If you've already worked 20 hours this week and you have nothing else to give, you can click not ready and you will not get an assignment. If you want to work 40 hours and you want to take 10 more PUIs, you can hit ready. That is, you have control over this. This is a volunteer project and we are truly trying to be respectful of everybody's time and energy that they're putting into this. And we don't want to burn anybody else. We don't want to burn anyone out. We don't want to underutilize and we don't want to overutilize. So hopefully we've allowed you to be in control of that part of it. That's all I have to say. If we want a meeting this weekend, let me know. Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's working.
All right, way to go. Like I said, I knew he could fix it. Really appreciate it. Dr. Michelle, did you have anything else that you wanted to share? If not, I think we'll be over. We'll conclude.
Thank you, John. Good job.
Great. Thank you all very much. Camilla, you're great. And look forward to seeing what next week looks like. You all have a good rest of the week.
Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.